what happened at the RNC. I would have, at speeches I was giving, the thousands of people, I would have comedians from Adult Swim charge the stage and start fights. I just bring them up. I would have, Ann Coulter jump in on a show I was on. Didn't matter. But then I'm like, hey, come on the show as I'm walking down through Media Row, a huge building next to the RNC event, just full of, I'm talking 300, 400 TV radio stations. More shows you could do all day. You could kill yourself in there. And I'm wandering by and some producer waves us over. I got to do some other interviews. So I do them. I come back by and they're doing the show. I see they're on break. They're not talking. I'm a media guy. I see people sitting there not talking. I go, hey, what's going on, guys? Hey. And then they act kind of friendly. And as soon as they go live, the person, I believe, because they'll look the same, it's all like the trendy guys that run it, same suits, same hairstyle, everything, goes, Alex Jones is taking over, Alex Jones, and all of a sudden, I'm going to beat you up, and start spitting in my face and attacking me. And they start going, Roger Stone, you're not taking over. And Roger Stone's like 20 feet away, and Roger Stone goes, what are you talking about? So again, it's not about the young turds or the young Triggly Puffs or any of this. It's about their disinformation, how they were on the Google YouTube stage that admits they work with the White House, and how as soon as our live videos went up, they took them down in real time. As soon as we made a big deal about it, they put them back up. But I want to digress into if they steal the election. We've seen them steal it from Bernie Sanders. Will there be a big revolt against that? And so much more. But putting bookends on this, while you talk about it, we're going to roll some footage for TV viewers watching at Infowars.com/show of what actually happened. Roger Stone.
Yeah, look, I don't want to belabor this, but to be very clear, it's not that Eliot Spitzer was ever convicted. In fact, that's precisely the problem. He violated the Mann Act, taking a prostitute across 8 state lines. Some liberals say, well, the Mann Act is never enforced. Actually, a New York State Supreme Court justice was convicted to 15 years in jail for violating the Mann Act the exact same year that Spitzer did, only months before. He isn't convicted because he was wealthy and connected. If he were black and poor, he'd be in jail right now. As far as his both patronizing and choking hookers, 1 month ago, a prostitute called the police from a New York hotel and said that Eliot Spitzer had tried to choke her. The police showed up. He had already fled the scene of the crime. She had marks on her neck. They went looking for him. Then subsequently, she fled the country that very night back to Russia. Nobody to question, no crime. And last week it was announced that Spitzer is suing her, presumably to get the payoff back. So I don't know what Senk is talking about. This guy is a criminal. He's just not convicted, but he's violated the law. Of all things to yell at, he didn't tell me I was lying about LBJ, which of course I'm not, or about Donald Trump. So look, the guy doesn't know anything. I've watched him on TV. He's inarticulate. It's all rote name calling. You see, this is the classic tactic of the left. Stone, you're a liar. You're a liar. They don't want to refute the facts because the liberals can't. Okay,
well, I'm just going from memory. I don't pay attention to a lot of New York politics, but listen.
I had to fix it because you know how this is. The petty waste media matters for America would get their panties in a twist about these arcane subjects. So it was very
sure. But I'm just going from memory, Roger. Didn't he? I know he wasn't convicted for this, but didn't he get in trouble for this stuff before?
He resigned as for governor over it. So that's exactly the point. He should have been prosecuted, but he wasn't because he's wired. The madams who provided hookers for him, they went to jail. So anyway.
Well, my big problem with him is, didn't he put a law in place to take the cars of John's while he was seeing hookers every day?
Exactly. So the real issue
But listen, this is all a distraction. Why did he say you were on his stage, most of it's radio, stop taking over, you're 20 feet away in a hallway, and then, there's so much bigger fish to fry, but it's just crazy.
Well, the bigger news, of course, is the self-immolation of Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz has a golden opportunity, and he muffs it. 1964, Barry Goldwater was the nominee. Nelson Rockefeller took a powder, wouldn't endorse him. George Romney, Mitt's father, takes a powder, wouldn't endorse him. Governor William Scranton of Pennsylvania, he splits too, he won't endorse him. Richard Nixon sees only opportunity. He not only endorses Goldwater, he introduces him to the convention for his acceptance speech, And then he hits the road and campaigns for the Goldwater Miller ticket in 38 states, more than Barry himself. 4 years later, when Goldwater lost, and I don't expect Trump to lose, but to follow out the analogy, Nelson Rockefeller is persona non grata. Barry Goldwater, Bill Buckley, John Tower, Carl Curtis, the giants of the conservative movement, they're not for Ronald Reagan in 1968. They're for Richard Nixon because he was a party loyalist in the party's greatest battle. Ted Cruz could have been a hero here. Instead, he is so self-absorbed, he is so obtuse about how he looks, he stabbed Donald Trump right in the back. It was one of the most duplicitous things I've ever seen in American politics. Let me be clear. The Hill reported on this. He's going to have a primary in Texas. We're going to find a candidate who is a true constitutionalist and not an egomaniac globalist who's taking $1 million plus illegal loans from Citibank and Goldman Sachs.
Speaking of that, I want to come back and talk about what happens if they try to steal the election from Trump. You have a plan to counter it. But here's one of the senior congressmen from Texas, Congressman Carter, who I talked to at the airport flying out Friday. This is his views on Cruz not being a Texan. He should go back to Canada. Well, we were sitting here about to board our flight, and it's Congressman Carter from the great state of Texas. Sir, you are actually a real card-carrying Texan, meaning you were actually from there. What is your view overall of what Ted Cruz did?
Oh, well, first and foremost, he calls himself a Texan. He doesn't keep his word. That's intolerable. Texans keep their word even if they're hurt, even if it hurts them, because that's who we are. It breaks my heart that he's a Texas senator and didn't keep his word.
I heard it from a little bird that when he didn't keep his word, you had something to say.
I kind of went ballistic, but I've calmed down now.
So should Ted Cruz maybe just go be a congressman in Ottawa?
Well, he's acting more like a Canadian than a Texan.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Do you have any comments? All right, folks. That's Infowars.com on the job. Infowars.com. By the way, you can read it in Politico. You can read it in The Hill. Myself and Roger Stone, with a little Trump juice, we're coming after that fake Texan, okay? All hat, no cattle. And it's not about a vendetta against Cruz, but he and Beck are just such slimebags. Beck now goes on ABC News, CBS News, you name it, and says vote for Hillary. I mean, how in the hell could anybody put up with this?
Yeah, look, Glenn Beck is unfortunately irrelevant. A more important point here, Alex, is that the Republicans had a very successful convention, and Trump really crystallized the stakes in this election. These reporters saying it's too dark. These are apocalyptic times. Dark times call for dark rhetoric. We have dark choices, stark choices, I should say. So I feel very good. I think Trump will be a couple points ahead. Let's move to the most important point here. Yes, we are going to have to be vigilant about voter fraud. I read a terrific study by Richard Charnon, who's a retired mathematician, a brilliant guy, a liberal, by the way.
Stay there. I'm going to give you the floor when we come back.
In 1993, Hillary Clinton ordered Vince Foster's dead body to be moved and dumped to avoid a murder investigation. New York Times best-selling author Roger Stone names names. The Clintons' War on Women, in stores now.
Special Forces selection, it's not like you could ever take the easy road. You can't take steroids to make, being a Special Forces operator easy. I'm always looking for the best and natural way to get myself to the limit. I have to have the edge over my opponents. I believe that super male vitality, that gives me the edge. I've been taking it, and I'm still getting faster and stronger every day.
Start your journey to super male vitality today at InfoWarsLife.com.